All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item D, approval of tonight's agenda. Does anybody have any changes or additions to the agenda tonight? If not, we'll call for a motion that we approve the agenda as stated.
So moved.
Motion made by Lillis, do I have support?
I'll support.
Support by Hoag. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item D, appointments and presentations. I think we have a little excitement here tonight. Chief, do you want to take the honors here?
Mayor, city councilors, staff, visitors, family, and friends. At this time, it is my honor, and I would like to welcome and formally swear in and introduce our new Deputy Chief of Police, Mr. Jesse Lindy of the Eveleth Police Department. Would you step on up, Jess? Would you raise your right hand? I state your name.
I, Jesse Lindy,
Do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Deputy Chief of Police
of Deputy Chief of Police
of the city of Eveleth, Minnesota,
of the city of Eveleth, Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, our new Deputy Chief.
Thank you. Just want to say thanks to the Police Commission, City Council for giving this opportunity to take on this new challenge in my law enforcement career. I look forward to it. I think we have great support from the residents of Eveleth, and I look forward to building on that support. So, thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Did you want to talk about that? You don't? Okay. At this time, we allow residents from the audience to address the council for a brief 5-minute period. Otherwise, I'll allow time at the end of the meeting to address any issues that were discussed tonight. If anybody from the audience wants to address the council at this time. If not, then we'll move on to the consent agenda. Approval of payroll, February 16th through the 28th. Approval of claims, February 2015. Recommendation for Deputy Chief salary. And 4, approve request for Deputy Chief to attend CLEO and Command Academy Training Camp Ripley, Minnesota, June 8th through the 12th, 2015. Anybody have any questions on the consent agenda? If not, can we approve it, motion that we approve it as it's stated? So moved. Motion made by Koivunen, do I have support? Support. Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried. At this time, we'll interrupt the regular city council meeting to hold a public hearing on the 2015 LE Improvement Project. At this point, I will call a public hearing to order. Mike, you want to give just a brief scenario of what we're looking at there? Because I'm not seeing a lot of interest here.
The project this year is alley reconstruction. It would be the north-south alley located east of Grant Avenue between Monroe and Pierce Streets. In accordance with the city's assessment policy, the property owner, adjacent property owners benefiting from this improvement would be assessed 60% of the project cost, the city paying the balance or 40% of the project cost. The estimated cost of the project is $57,960. There are actually, I believe, 5 commercial properties on the west side of the alley. These are privately owned. And the municipal parking lot on the east side of the alley is city-owned, so that the city would be responsible for that assessment. So the assessments on the other properties for this project would range from $1,411.48 up to $4,234.43. Again, these are based on our estimated cost of the project at this point. This does include a 20% contingency because at this point, the preliminary estimate is basically complete by just doing a drive-through of the alley, measuring off maps, coming up with some rough numbers. So we certainly hope that if you wish to proceed with this project, that we can get it bid and that bid numbers will come from less than.
Did we take into account widening the two ends, the accesses, and I know we have some big trucks that try to get in there?
Yeah, that was discussed at a previous meeting, trying to widen or lengthen those radiuses on the alley approaches to make it easier for large truck traffic. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the alley will look exactly like it does. It'll be a curb on the west side, complete pavement removal and replace.
Anyone have any other questions? No one from the audience has any questions? I will adjourn the public hearing and reconvene the city council meeting. We have no unfinished business. Item J, new business, revised contract for private development between the city of Eveleth and Aqua Power. Looks like we have to do a little contract to change a few names, who owned what, and where the right-of-ways were. Anybody have any questions on that minor language change here? We had a delete here, one section.
That was about the billboard?
Yeah, billboard, and there's some, who owned what, wasn't exactly sure, thought there was ownership, and then there was the right-of-way.
So the city's gonna buy the billboard from Dick Harvey?
Yeah.
And then, I guess I didn't get what was gonna happen, and we're gonna rent it out, or?
I suppose,
Okay.
yeah. Use it for whatever purpose we want, to put something on there.
You know, that might be something that we may be even interested in talking to the people in Eveleth there, that, the merchants, because they run them signs at the beginning of Eveleth on both sides. You know, maybe they could take something over like that that would benefit us. No, it's just a thought.
Oh, like I say, there's a lot of different ideas out there. Like I say, we need ideas. Somebody's got something to enhance what we have.
Well, that one's been kind of hid back in the trees, if I'm not mistaken, for a little while, so now that we have access to it again,
Yeah.
use it, find a way to use it.
Anyone else have any questions on that? Otherwise, can I call for a motion that we approve that revised contract between the city of Eveleth and Aqua Power?
So moved.
Made by Hoag, do I have a support?
I'll support it.
Support by Drava, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consider accepting quotation for 2015 sanitary sewer cleaning and televising. And this is part of our ongoing agreement, Mike, with the MPCA.
Yes, that's correct.
I know I ask this every year, but I bet you it's just the last year.
No, I guess we have to be completed with the project by October 31st of 2016. What we had budgeted for this year would cover the base quotation, and as I mentioned at an earlier meeting, we took the balance of the work and put it in here just for quote purposes, or to see what it would cost as an ad alternate. So I guess what you have before you tonight is the base quotation, and that would be to do another chunk of our system, and we have monies budgeted to do that. The ad alternate would be to finish everything this year, and in order for that to happen, you would have to increase the budget by about $22,000. One thing, I do think we got a very good price this year. Also, there are some engineering services that go along with requesting quotations too. I think that usually runs somewhere between $1,500 and $1,700. So there's some potential benefit for trying to get it all done this year, but again, it would require that you budget some additional money for that to happen, so that would be the council's discretion.
Why do you think we got a good deal where it's cheaper this year?
Well, I do think that we do. These prices, if you can see quite a difference between the low quote and any of the other people that bid this year. We're at the base quote, the lowest cost was $20,981, and the next lowest was $25,000. So over $4,000 difference between the lowest cost and the next bidder on the base.
If we went with the add alternate one for 42,493, we'd finish it up this year and be done?
Then we would be done with everything, yeah, to fulfill the requirement of the MPCA.
And then next year, this wouldn't be on the thing, and I'd ask you again if we were done or not?
It would not have to be. I do think, and I would recommend somewhere down the road that you may want to budget some money annually to do some cleaning and televising, especially some of the lines that maybe we haven't replaced yet that were in, fair or marginal condition. It might not be a bad idea to take another look at it. Something else to think about in future years too would be to do some contract televising of our storm sewer system. We just don't know the condition of that issue. Get a picture of those too. Just like the bill, if you accepted the base and add alternate one, that would fulfill the requirements.
So we would have pretty much new piping throughout the town then?
Well, we would have a video record of all the piping in town. And as of the end of last year, we've replaced 26% of the sewage collection system since 1999, which is phenomenal. Been a lot. There's still some problem areas, but with the work we have scheduled for this year, all of the pipe that we've televised and rated in very poor condition will virtually be taken. That's a big plus. We've come a long way. Very proud of it. But,
What's everybody's thinking? Should go the whole gamut?
Let's get it done.
Mike, do you have any idea whether there's enough funds budgeted to do the add alternate one?
there is not. You would have to increase the budget by about 22,000 to do the add alternate one. The current, what's been approved so far for 2015 discretionary would cover the base quotation.
Thank you.
You must have saved a lot on fuel this year, eh, Mike?
Gasoline certainly went the right way, and now diesel finally has, but.
What's everybody's thoughts? Get it done or do it again next year?
I mean, provided that we have the funding available, I think we're getting a good rate now. I'd just as soon see it done this year and be done with it.
Well, let's
We
say,
don't know.
I think we can handle that.
If you can do it this year, do it this year. You don't know what's gonna happen next year. We could have something else happen, and if we can afford it now, I say do it now.
Everybody in agreement? Should we go with the bid with add alternate?
Well, we're saving money.
Number one? That's kind of what I'm thinking too. And be done with this.
I mean, if we can find out where we can get it from, I'll make the motion.
I'll support the motion.
We'll find it.
Okay, then I'll make the motion, the motion that we get it all over with for $42,493.75.
Do I have a support to that motion?
Yeah, I'll support.
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Hoag. Any further discussion? Get them off our backs a year early.
Then they'll come up with something else.
Yeah, probably.
Our friends, the MPCA.
That's right. They're gonna make things better. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item 3, consider resolution ordering the 2015 alley improvement project in preparation of plans and specifications by Benchmark Engineering. That's definitely a needed area of the city there.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Okay, motion made by Lillis,
I'll support it.
support by Hadrava to accept the resolution. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item J4, consider authorizing Benchmark Engineering to prepare plans and specifications for a bituminous overlay of the municipal parking lot located east of Grant Avenue between Monroe and Pierce Streets and construction of a new parking lot and driveway at the city-owned clinic building. I think we all pretty much agreed on the clinic, what way to go on this option 3. No one has any further questions, call for a motion that authorize Benchmark Engineering to prepare the plans and specifications.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Hadrava, do I have a support?
I'll support.
Any further discussion? Support by Hoag, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 5, the big one.
Oh, and this would be, there wouldn't be any interference with the 4th of July, you know, with that parking lot, right?
What we've discussed with the city
Yeah.
engineer is requiring them on both the alley and the parking lot either begin and be completed by the 4th of July or to not begin till after the 4th
Yeah.
of July. And then same thing, I guess, with the car show and corn feed too. We just, you know, they might be in the middle of that project, but we just don't want them working.
Okay.
You know, later that day, we want any streets cleaned up that they've messed up, and we'd want them out of here on that date also, so we're not conflicting with that.
Any further discussion? Oh, I think we voted on that, item 4, didn't we?
Yep.
Okay. Item number 5, consider authorizing Benchmark Engineering to call for bids for renovation of West Eveleth 200,000 gallon water tower.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion made by Lillis, do I have support?
I'll support it. It's something we need.
Support by Koivunen, yeah, they both need it. Any further discussion? We talked about this for quite a while. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That takes care of our regular agenda, and anybody from the council have any committee reports or presentations?
Mayor, just maybe a little follow-up to the meeting for the, that we had at the Hockey Hall for the public's benefit. At 5 o'clock today, the city council convened a meeting at the Hockey Hall of Fame, and we had a dialogue with some of the residents that took the time to come to the meeting about the future of our police and fire commissions, and I certainly appreciated the dialogue that we did have up there. We plan on having further meetings in this regard, and you know, I just want to get the message out to the entire community so that we can have as many people in attendance and have them sharing ideas with regard to, you know, the different viewpoints people have on what they see or where they see our public safety commissions going in the future. So I think that's about it for me, Mayor.
Anybody else? Joe, you have anything? Brad?
No, not this one.
Brian? No. Well, we do have something going on by the snow dump area. Minnesota Power is looking to relocate a substation due to the fact that the Highway 53 relocation is going to render the power supply they have now to Eveleth and I think Cliff's mining operation non-existent. And at our October or April 7th meeting, if anyone is interested, we're going to have a little public hearing, a presentation. We'll have a representative from Minnesota Power here and kind of explain where it's going, what it's going to look like, what's involved. So we will be advertising. They will also be advertising that meeting also. So that's kind of it's going to be a little while, but it's kind of for everybody's information. And the residents in that area are going to be notified. So if they have any questions or concerns, and he'll be here to answer all of those. You have anything to add, Brian? Chief, you got anything else?
I guess, Mary, just wanted to let the public know on the promotion that we had of Deputy Chief Lindy. That was a promotion internally from the police department. Since we had the retirement of a lieutenant here several months ago, we chose to go in a little different direction. And that position is vacant, and we did internally promote to the deputy chief. So again, welcome, good to see you. Best of luck to you.
Anyone else? Our engineer?
Nothing to report unless you
Rod?
have any questions.
Everything's under control, Rod? Okay. Mike, you have anything to add?
I do have a few items tonight, Mr. Mayor. We began street sweeping yesterday, sidewalk sweeping, so, and remember, calendar parking is in effect till May 1st, and certainly if people can abide by that calendar parking, it makes it a lot easier for us to get the streets swept, so we appreciate you applying that. Our refuse collection at the city garage is going to begin on April 20th, and you should be getting a notice in your utility bill that you receive on or around April 1st. And the third thing, yesterday, at least one representative, it might have been more, from Roller Underground, our renters that have been using the auditorium for the women's roller skating, went down and tried the Hippodrome after the ice was out and the floor was dry. The surface worked out ideally for them, so they're real excited about the number of bouts that you approved earlier for that to conduct down there, beginning I think April 11th. Along that line, they would like to request permission to use the Hippodrome for their practices instead of the auditorium. They kind of want to get accustomed to their home rink. It's what is my feeling. So, if I guess I told them that I just talked to them yesterday and today, and I said I would try to bring it up this evening, see if the city council would like entertaining that request. Currently, we've been charging them $50 a month for using the auditorium. I think for sure one night a week, possibly a second night. What they're looking at the Hippodrome would be 2 hours, definitely on Monday nights, possibly on Thursday nights in the future. Just the way I look at it, this would not have to be staffed like the bouts. It would just be for their participants to be there. We wouldn't have anybody else from the public. I think we could provide them with access and know where the lights are, security system. So I do think our costs would be relatively minimal, electricity and a little bit of sewer and water facilities.
I don't know, anybody have any objections to? I know the auditorium was convenient because all arenas had ice in them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a community recreational building, you know, it's intended to be used, I have no problem with it.
It wouldn't interfere with any other activities?
No, I don't believe there's anything going on. I think they were talking like 6 to 8 o'clock in the evening. So I know there are some high school activities that go on typically right after school. We make sure that it.
I know we had a agreement with regard to liability and so forth. Is that something that we would just change the venue and
Right,
and
or-
use the same contract, or?
Yeah, I think we could use the same agreement and just modify it for these practices, since there wouldn't be an insurance requirement. No members of the public would be there.
Yeah, it could easily be modified to change the location.
And did they indicate that they wanted to use that going forward beyond, you know, this season?
I think, the impression I got was for this summer season.
Okay.
They're aware that we would probably be putting ice back in the end of September, early October. So, you know, that their season there would come to an end at that point. But I think it would be something that they would like to continue through the season. I think they had a bout scheduled in September and one in early October. We told them that the October one is probably iffy because of the mix.
Yeah.
So, I could see this one in September.
So, but then they probably would want to be back in the auditorium during the winter, or the ice months?
Yeah, it sounds like it worked out well for them.
Okay.
I don't think the auditorium is conducive to the boats. It's good for the training part.
Yeah.
I think it's not quite as big inside. Well, do we need any council action on this or anything, or? You gotta talk a little bit about the rent part of it then.
Yeah, the rent would probably be the biggest question.
Well, you wanna work on that, Mike, and bring us something back, and good Bonnie on whatever she has to do, an agreement?
I can make changes to the agreement.
Okay. And if everybody's in agreement, then we'll just have Mike proceed and work with Bonnie on that, and
I agree.
when they're ready. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask if we can get an agreement in place, even if we don't have the rental terms, could they start using the facility? Would that be opposed to that?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't be.
It'd be all
Well,
right,
you're not looking at making a bunch of money down there, you know what I mean?
we
It's
just
because
wanna
they're a
cover
small
our
group.
costs for the lights.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll work something out. I think their concern is their first bout is scheduled for April 11th, And
Oh,
your
okay.
next meeting is April 7th, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't give them much practice time. I think they'd like to get their feet wet on that floor, so I think they'd like to get in and use that. So if you don't have a problem with that, we could certainly deal with the contract, the agreement, and the liability issues.
Okay. Absolutely. Is that it for you, Mike?
Yes.
Steph, you got anything to add? Bonnie, you got anything to bring up?
Nope.
Nope, oh boy, things are looking pretty good. I'm good for the night. Anyone from the audience have anything to add? If not, I'll adjourn the meeting.